in here. Lecture 10. Okay. This one you copy paste from which slide number? Slide number? This one. Number 10. Number 9. 10. Okay, this one. Okay. So it's lower and it's upper. Okay. If you look at this function, how do you use the function? You call the function and then you supply a character. Okay. So the function will check whether the character is a lowercase or uppercase, isn't it? Okay. So the function will return, where is the function? So this one, isn't it? So this one. Okay. So the function will return a true or false. Okay. True or false. Okay. So if you look at your program here, if you look at your program here, according to its lower, if you look at this one, you modify starting from here, isn't it? Okay, if you look at the warning here, it's starting from, so the part up here is actually okay because you haven't done anything to that part. Okay, and then you start modifying this part. Okay. So if you look at the function is lower, you need to supply a character. Okay. So here, if you look at your program, okay, you try, you print, you try, and then you are reading a character here, loca, but your loca is an array of character, isn't it? Okay, your loca is an array. It's not just a character, but array of character. So and then you call this one print f. Okay, is lower. You pass this loca. Loca is actually it is an array. It is a array name. Array name contain pointer. It doesn't contain the character. Okay. So if you read this loca here, then this one actually will assign the character into the first element as a first element in your program, in your array. Okay. So if you want to access the character, you need the dereferencing operator here. Okay, so that you can get to the character. So you need the dereferencing operator, this one. Okay. It should be like that. If you put that dereferencing operator to the array name, so that one actually refer to the first element. You should get that one. So we can try to compile this one. This is another one. Okay, is upper. Okay, you upkah. Okay, you upkah here is an array again. But then this will only assign your character to the first element because you use the array name. Array name contain the address of the first element. So you can put here a dereferencing operator to get to the array name, to get to the character. You need to supply a character to the function. Okay, so the function accept character. It doesn't accept address. Your array name contain address. Still remember, if you put loka can. Okay. For example, here apkah, we don't use a dereferencing operator, but we put here 0 for the first element. First element because your entered input is actually go to the first element because you use only the array name. Okay. It goes to the array name. Array name actually contain the address of the first element. Okay. So when you compile this one, then you do there's no error. Okay. Then there's no warning. Okay, you can use any notation. Okay, either the dereferencing or the array notation. Okay. If I only put loca as a character, yeah, the program stop at line 16. Line 16. Oh, this one. Yes, because you don't use address operator. When you declare just a character, then you need address operator for your scanf. Okay, so this one, if you just use a character like this, not array, then you need an address operator to get to the address. Okay. Unlike array name contain address, so you don't need address operator. Okay, so this one when you compile, then you get error because of this one, the referencing operator. Okay, and then you delete it, so there's no error. Okay, so don't use array if you just want to read one character. Use character. Okay, can I see the output for that program? Oh, you want me to run this program? Okay, so this is the output. You try. This is your friend's program. Okay, let's say I put R. Okay, capital letter R. So this one actually will check for is lower. Okay, so it is not a is lower case letter. That's the output. Okay, it is not. It is a. It is not. Okay, lowercase letter. So you have two is there. So that's the sentence. Okay. And then the second one, which is the uppercase, is upper. Okay. So we try R. Okay. This is the second part, the second half of the program. It is a uppercase letter. R. Okay. There's no problem. Okay, class. Any other question? So remember when you call the function, make sure you know what the function accept. As this function accept character. Okay, so you supply a character. So for the code in slide 16, this one, okay. Why doesn't the program end? Which one? The second one or the first one? The second one. The second one, it doesn't. What do you mean by it? It doesn't get to the end. If you enter the line and then there is end of file, then it will stop. For example, okay, let's say we close this one. Okay, and then we have you tried the program or not? Your own on your own. So it doesn't end. Does it end or not? It keeps asking for input. Oh really? Oh, you need to enter the end of file. Okay, end of file. Okay, here is actually when you don't, because it asks for end of file, it's not end of line. Okay, end of line is something else. You need to enter end of file. Okay, stdio. Include string. Okay, and then main, and then this one, character. Okay, book, and then printf. Oh, what is this? Oh, printf. What is the book? and then this one, and then while. You need to enter the end of file. Okay, this one is equal to get character. Get. And then it's not equal to end of file. And then this one. Put character book, isn't it? Okay. And okay. Okay, do compile the program and then okay, and then you run it. Okay, and then you enter the title. Okay, see how to program. See how to program. Oh, it doesn't end. What do you mean it doesn't end? Oh, it doesn't end like this, isn't it? When you enter again, oh, it again, until it is end of file, isn't it? Okay. So you need to enter end of file character to stop the while loop. Okay. To stop the while loop. So what you do is you press Control Z like this. Okay. And then you enter. Control Z. You press Control and then Z. That is end of file character. Okay, so that will stop the program. Otherwise, it will remain in the while loop. Okay, so what happened here is actually when you enter the line, okay, so the program will stop, okay, waiting for your input. But then when you press enter, the program will go through all the character, okay? We will go through all the characters, C, and then how, H, O, W, until the end of the line, okay? And then it will keep reading the character and then put the character on the screen too. So that's why you have the output, see how to program here. Okay, what happened here is actually the program read your input one by one, character by character, and then put it on the screen. Okay, and then it's still in the main program, meaning that it's still waiting for you to get character. Get character actually still try to read input from you. So you enter another character, and then the while loop actually check for the end of file. There's no end of file character entered, so it will keep process your input. So when you input the end of file character here, the Control Z, then it will become false. Okay. So the while loop actually become false because it is end of file, so it stop. So you need to enter the character. End of file is Control Z. Okay. Okay, class. Any other question? Any other question, class? So this lecture is simply just about all the function that you can use in your program, okay, to make life a bit easier. For the code in slide 22, this one, okay, is Z necessary? Which one? This example. So this is about string copy and string encopy to copy the string, isn't it? So the character at one, and then the string, and then you have string copy to Z. Yeah, it is. It is because you want to make the array Z to become a string. Okay, otherwise you have only array of character. Okay, remember string actually ended by the null value. Okay, null value. So that is null value. So you need to enter the last character as a null value. Otherwise, if you print out the string, okay, you don't get you cannot print it out because print string is actually check for the null value at the end of the string. Okay, that differentiate between string and array of character and string. Okay, where we have the null value at the end. Okay, maybe you can try this program. Okay, this one can be copied. Okay, we copy it, put it in the program. So this one, we close it. Okay, and then paste this one. So this is the string, isn't it? The program. Okay, and then we compile it and then put here and try. Okay, and then we run it. Okay, so this is the happy birthday to you, and then we copied that happy birthday. So let's say you say that you want to remove this one. Okay, you want to remove this one, and then you compile the program. So what do you get? Still you can print the string, but then what the difference between the first one? Or this is what you mean by is it necessary or not? But you need to differentiate between the string. So how do you detect the last one, the null value? String copy x and y. The string in array x is that one, and then the string in array y is. Oh, we already put it there, isn't it? Or not yet? We compile it again, okay, and then we run it. So you get that one. In this case, it doesn't need the null value at the end, but then in order to differentiate between string and character of array, you need that null value at the end. There will be time where you need to check the null value at the end. I cannot recall what type of operation that we need to do that. Okay, but then still you need that null value at the end in order for you to treat the character array as a string. Okay, yeah, you need so better put that. Yeah, you need to put it the null value at the end so that there are some operation where you need to check the null value at the end of the string. Okay, but I cannot remember, I cannot recall what type of operation that actually require a differentiate between the string of character array with a string. Okay, because otherwise there's no difference between your string and character array. Okay, but there will be time when you need this null value at the end of the string. Okay, I cannot recall what type of example I can show you that there is a difference between character array and a string. Because if you don't put it, then your string simply just a character array. Okay, it's not a string. What type of operation? String and character array. So let's say we modify the program. Okay, we have a character here, character array as well. Okay, y for not y, x, y, z, w. Okay, w, and then we put it something like this. Okay, and then let's say we want to print the string. Okay. String copy. We try to print this one. Okay, w as a string. Oh no, this one. Semicolon. Then you can still print the character array, okay, using the string. But then without the null value. It is not a string, but then it's just a character array. How do you, I cannot recall what type of example to show you that the null value at the end is actually important. Okay, but then that's the difference between string and character array. Okay, array of character. For example here, there's no difference between W and X, isn't it? If you don't put the null value at the end. Okay, between W and Z, because Z actually will remove the null value. X can actually contain the null value because of we assign string to X. Okay, so the null value actually will be added at the end. But for Z, we copy. Okay, we have a string copy, but then we need we copy X, isn't it? X to Y, right? Or which one actually we are printing out here? The string in array X. Oh yeah, Z. Oh yeah, the Z is actually we print it out. Okay. So in Z, we just copy some part of the string, okay, but not the null value at the end. So we need to put the null value, okay, to make Z as a string. Okay, class. But just bear in mind that string actually contain the null value at the end. Okay, there will be time you need this null value, but I cannot recall what type of situation. Okay. Why in slide 24 without the in character, it will have special character in it? Slide 24, this one. Why in character without the in character? Which one? In character S340, yeah, this one. It will have special character in it. Yeah, it will. It is actually an empty string. Okay, an empty string. It is a string but empty. So there is a special character to it. Okay. The null value at the end actually, it is empty string without any character, but the null value is there. It is a string. Okay. So S3 is a string as well. So whenever we declare an empty string, we need to put, yeah. If you want to the character array as a string, then you need to put double quote because it is a string. Okay. Otherwise, it's just a character array. Okay. It's not a string. So in this case, this means that the first element in S3 is actually the null value because there's no other character in it. Okay, it is empty. Remember, a string actually ended by the null value. So if your string is empty, so the null value is the only character in your string. Okay, the null value. Okay, class. Any other question? We can use null value to count the number of character in the string. Yeah, your null value actually normally to detect end of string. Okay, end of string. Normally that is what we do because sometimes we don't know when the string will end, isn't it? Because we don't know the length of the string sometime. Okay, so in order to know when actually we get to the end of it, so in that case we need to check for the null value. Okay, in order to know that we are at the end of the string, so we check for the null value. Okay, so that is one of the purpose of the null value at the end of the string. Okay, without the null value, you don't know how to detect the end of the string. For string compare, it doesn't count the space as a character. String compare, which one? String compare, space should be a character, isn't it? Oh, this one, S1 and S2. It doesn't count the space, is it? I don't remember because I haven't run this one, the program. Copy. What is the purpose of string compare? What do you get? Slide 27 or slide 27? This one. Um, According to string compare, okay, string compare S1, S2 equal to 0 because S1, S2 is equal. And then string compare 1, 3 is 1. S1, S3 is 1. Okay, if you look at the string compare the string 1 and string 2, the function returns 0, less than 0, or greater than 0 if S1 is equal, less than, or greater than. Okay, so greater than, you get greater than 0. String comparison function of the string handling library. This one, if you look at it, okay, for example, this program, okay, let's say we copy this program, okay. Okay, and then we put it in this one, okay, close. And then we compile it, okay, we get this one, 10, okay, and then we run the program. So this is the output, okay. So we have that 0, 1, and then -1, okay. S3 to S1, S1 to S3, yeah, definitely if it's the other way around, isn't it? So let's say we put here, later on I'll look at that one, okay, A, B, C, okay. And then this one is TEF. Okay. And then we compile a program. Okay. And then if you look at this one, okay. Okay, if you look at the string compare, it doesn't compare the length of the string. Okay. It doesn't compare the length. It compare the value of the string. Okay, if you look at this one, okay, string compare S3 and S1. S3 is actually bigger than S1. Although they have the same number of character, isn't it? So it doesn't actually compare the length, okay? The length of the string. It compare the value represented by the string. Okay, you remember that character is actually represented as integer. So what is the integer in this string? Okay, so what is the value? So this is the one that actually compare. So you can compare A and B. Okay, B is bigger than A because the integer representing B is actually bigger than integer representing A. So in this case, we compare the whole string as integer. Okay, so it doesn't compare between, it's not about the length of the string. Okay, you can put A. But then if Z is actually bigger than A, so you don't need that many Z to get Z is bigger than A, although you have many A. Okay, it compare the integer, not the number of character. So definitely the character space character, the space is a character, but then there is a value for that as well. Okay, for the space. Okay, space is a character, but then there is integer representation as for that character as well. Okay, understand what is the comparison here? So that's why when you look at, when you have name, student name, for example, okay, if you have student name, then if you sort the student name according to, alphabetical order, for example, then you will see that value A actually at the top, B actually follow after that. This actually sorted according to the value of integer in the name. Okay, so that's how it is sorted. So we have done this a lot, isn't it? In our report, for example, you want to sort the name according to alphabetical order. So that is how sorting is done. It compare all the value in the string. Okay, the value one by one. Okay, in the character. So they are actually compared or sort according to the integer. Okay, class. Any other question? Any other question, class? So make sure you do the lab, okay? You don't need to memorize all the function. There are so many functions in this lecture, but then at least you cover those that we covered in the lab. Okay, so make sure you do the lab, okay, before Thursday. Remember, we have a lab test 4 as well on Thursday. Okay, so how about the rest? You just stay quiet. Only one of you ask question. Okay, make sure you understand the lecture, okay, and then the topic, okay. If you have any question, just ask, okay. Don't worry. If you cannot speak, just put it in the chat, okay. I think asking question through the chat actually much easier, isn't it? And then if you don't want your friend to know that you are asking question, you can put it private, okay. If you don't want your friend to know you're asking question. So far I don't have any question, no question. Lab test 4 is about array. Yeah, array or pointer or both. It's about array only. Okay. But definitely when we talk about array, but then sometimes it's actually a bit about mathematical operation, for example, plus this, plus the number, for example. So we cannot just cover array. Definitely there are some other topic actually need to be part of the lab test. Sometimes we need the for loop, isn't it? So we cannot ignore that control structure. Okay, but it won't actually ask about the topic after that. Normally, actually, the topic we have covered before array. Okay, before array. So it's not simply just about array. It could be for loop, okay, or mathematical operation. So we cannot ignore those topic as well. Otherwise, it's very hard to create a question. Okay, if we just focusing on one topic only. Okay. And then, but I have seen the question, one of them, but not your question, but a question for the other group. I think it's easy, okay, not as hard as the previous, lab test two. Lab test two, I think, quite hard. Lab test three is actually a bit simpler than test two, but this one actually quite easy, okay, quite easy. And then lab test for, okay, I only have question for lab, understand. Oh, lab, later on you just do your lab first, okay, try the lab, and then we can discuss the lab on Thursday, okay? Okay, class. Okay, I'll see you on Thursday. Okay, no worries. Okay.